What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So today, taking the car, heading over to Skylar's house. Skylar with the coyote swapped VMP New Edge. He's swapping out his brakes, among some other things, in regards to converting his car from a drag focus car to a road course focus car. And one of the things he's working on this evening is the brakes. He also said he wants to put a vent in his hood. Instead of just buying like a new vent, he wants to cut a hole, put a vent in his hood to make a kit. But he thinks it's better to just hack a hole on his current hood instead of just buying the new hood that has a vent in it. Doesn't really seem. Hey, it's his car. But we're gonna work on his brakes. I'm gonna bring over some drinks because it's more fun. And yeah, we'll catch this up at his house. Remember a couple videos back, I was talking how people drive exactly the speed and don't go like 1 mile over. Well, oh my land! Calm down, slow down. Whoa. Seriously. Every fucking time I'm in this car. Okay, so I had to turn the sound off because we had music on and I didn't want to deal with any copyright issues. So I just decided to do voiceovers over everything. So, here we go. Okay, so that is supposed to be his stencil for his cutout for his hood. It's all cut to size. He has the whole kit for it, but that's just masking tape that he's already screwed up, and we're trying to unfuck the issue. And well, okay, so his steel braided brake lines that we're going to be replacing them with, and this is the ABS delete that we're also installing. You can't even see, I'm trying to show you guys, you can't even see the factory ABS, but it's right here. We just got to unscrew all the connections and replace it with this tiny thing that looks like a Lego. But first off, we're just going to put this back, and we're going to start on the brake lines in the back. Alright, so the bleeder valves. Now if you look on the back, it says cancer and reproductive harm. Well, too little too late. But I'm just gonna sit here and drink because it doesn't really take two people to do this job. So I'm just holding the camera, having a beer. And it looks like we dropped a nut or bolt, and we heard it. It rolled underneath the car, and we can't find it. It's somewhere under there. Always happens. Every time. Every time. I'll just have another beer. And another one. Alright, so we got this side done. We're just tightening everything up, just buttoning this side done, and once this side is done, we're going to move on over to the other side and repeat the same process over there. This is the factory brake line. As we said, it's rubber, it's squishy, and when you apply brake pressure, it expands, and which obviously can affect your braking ability compared to the solid steel ones. You can see right here. Quite the difference. Alright, so we're just comparing the factory versus the one we're putting in, and to be honest, I can't really tell the difference between the two, besides one looks older and one doesn't, but apparently there's a difference. I don't know what it is, but yeah, they just look the same. Oh, look, we found the socket. And my beer. Just wiping down all the excess fluid. And just making sure all the bolts and everything is tight. Looks like it is. All cleaned up, about set to move on to the other side. Okay, so the plan was, after we were done, which it took longer than it was supposed to take, but the plan was after we were done installing everything and buttoning everything back up, to just take the car out and test out the braking ability. We didn't have enough time to do that, but we were talking about, we were planning plans for next weekend to meet up with Cody with the Camaro and take the cars on a road trip down to Mexico and see how the three of us would perform against each other. Skylar is quite a bit lighter than the two of us, but we're putting down around the same horsepower, so that should be pretty interesting. But the fact is, he's putting down the same power, he weighs quite a bit less, should give him the advantage. Okay, so I was looking at his pulley size compared to the pulley size on the GT500 like mine. Now on the Coyotes, they go off of a millimeter size, and on the GT500s, they go off of inches. His was an 81 or an 82, but he switched that one up to a Grip Tech, and there's the factory, well not the factory, but the VMP that he had in there, that was an 82. And he switched to a Grip Tech 81, I believe. But I was just talking how or why they go off of the millimeter sizes on those, and the car like mine on a 5.4 or 5.8 GT500, they use the like 2.4 inches or 2.7, so they base those off of inches, and on these they go off of millimeters, and we were just talking about why they have that. Okay, so Skylar here has done everything on this car, top to bottom, by himself. He didn't take part of the shop, he didn't pay to have anything installed, he dropped the engine in his car, in his garage, he jacked it up on the jack stands, brought it in from underneath the car, did the supercharger install, everything top to bottom, the suspension, you see here, the calipers, the brakes, the brake lines that we were working on, obviously tonight, the full interior, everything. He redid basically all his panels, top to bottom, he did everything, so he doesn't pay to have anything installed. Takes time and saves thousands upon thousands of dollars to do everything himself. Alright, we finally got the factory one out, and we just pulled it out and just comparing it to the factory, to the ABS delete block, which you see right here. I mean, it's quite the size. I mean, that's maybe a quarter of the size, and the factory one we were saying probably weighs maybe 10 to 15 pounds, somewhere in there, and this one maybe weighs a couple ounces. So you're saving anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds, going from 15 pounds to just a couple ounces. Okay, so we got all these lines in, except for this son of a bitch right here. For some reason, this thing just won't line up. It just won't thread. You think it will, and then it does, and then it just backs out again. So we were having the hardest time with the easiest thing. And it was late. This was the last thing we had to do, and then we're done, and it just would not go in. But I think we eventually got this in. But man, that was fun. Alright, last thing we gotta do, we're just tightening that up, and then we're done for the night, finally. And I completely just spilled. Missed the mouth completely. All over his car. May have just spilled that. All over the side of his car. And I'm gonna have to clean that up. Alright, finally got everything done after probably 3.5 hours. We got the steel braided brake lines front and back, the ABS delete block. Took a lot longer than expected, but you know, that's usually how it goes. We started when it was daylight out. It's now dark, it's well past 10 o'clock. But anyways, if you guys are watching this and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you guys in the next video coming up here soon. You guys have a good one, and we will see you then.